No, just compare, feature introduced on which version. So I will share from, in chat, I will
Oh,
share
okay.
instead of sharing the screen.
Done. Fine. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay. Guys, any questions, any doubts? Any questions, guys?
One question I have, Shanmu.
Yes, please.
So, are we going to use alias as an instance name? I mean, if we want to protect more about our, the SQL Server name, you know, so to alias for the same to provide a
Yes.
high security.
Yes, generally, sometimes, very rarely, people will use alias names also for the SQL Server.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll be
But I
discussing
saw
later.
most
Yeah.
of the critical databases, like if we are talking about Amazon, popular application owner, they generally use point of view they should use or they using as a alias to connect, right?
They might use, yeah, they might use. That's what depends. Depends upon the project to projects. Generally, they might use even aliases also to connect. Okay, so there is a scenario generally. In case if it is a criticality and all, if there is a criticality, if they don't want to show their name, instance name and all, people generally will go for alias names and all. Okay. Not this one, yeah. Just a minute, I'm going to share the screen, that the one which we discussed in the morning. Okay. Right. Yes, I'm just going to share the screen. Right. Okay. So in the morning we discussed just a recap of morning session, guys. Still, if you are confusing and all, okay, just a recap of morning session. So how the things will be organized physically in the SQL Server. So in the instance, we will have databases. In the database, if you go inside the database, so database is a collection of file groups and a log file. Okay. So if you go inside the file groups, again, we will have data files. Okay. So we have two types of data files. One is .mdf, second one is .ndf. So whenever you create any database, generally one data file and one log file will be created. Whenever you create any database, by default, one data file and one log file will be created. If you feel that the data file is not enough, one data file is not enough, or if one data file is not sufficient, you can still add more data files. So the subsequent data files will be NDF files. Okay. Only one MDF file will be there per database. MDF master data file. Only one data file will be existed per database. If that MDF file is full, you can add another file called NDF, another data file called NDF. Okay. So in the meantime,
Hello.
start the server.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes.
Suppose I want to start in .mdf file. Okay.
Sorry, you want to?
I want to store the metadata in .mdf file.
Okay.
User table data in .mdf file. Okay.
Okay.
Then how can I specify?
While creating tables, you can mention on file group.
Okay,
Okay.
on file, then how it will know the metadata will store it?
By default, metadata will be stored in the MDF file. Okay. So it's
Okay.
not like how it knows and all. SQL Server only is organizing the things, right? So by default, that metadata will be stored in the MDF file. So if you don't want to store the user data in the MDF file, create a file group. Okay. And create one data file, NDF file in that file group. On whatever tables you are creating, create in the script itself, you can mention on file group. Like that, if you mention, automatically the table
Okay.
will be created in
During
the
during table we have to mention on file group.
correct.
So it can also mention in index part also.
You can, yes, index also you can mention on particular file group. And while creating index, you can mention like rebuild index and all. Okay, so when you are rebuilding index and all, if you mention on so particular file group, automatically the table will go to. And that means while creating index, generally while creating a clustered index, if you mention that one, automatically table will be dropped and recreated in the indexes in the particular file. Okay, or file group.
Sorry, not getting your point.
That's what while creating index, you can mention that. So that table will be created directly on the respective files.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So this is how the things will be organized, guys. Again, if you go inside the data files, you will have extents. We have two types of
So
extents.
the creation of tables will be activity will be DBS part, or it
No,
will
no,
be
no.
just by handled by
Developers. We don't create any tables and all.
or we have to just guide, just create this.
Yes, we don't involve in creating the tables. See, in case if they don't have enough permission, sometimes if they ask us to do means they will provide the scripts. So we'll run those scripts and all.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So data files. Okay. So inside the data files, if you go, extents will be there. And we have two types of extent. Extent is nothing but a collection of 8 continuous data pages. So what will be the extent size, guys? What will be the extent size?
64 KB.
64 KB. Why? Because each page size is 8 KB. So 8 pages, right? 8 into 8 KB, which is 64 KB. So we have two types of extents, uniform extent and mixed extent. Uniform extents means all the 8 pages belongs to a single table. Mixed extents means all the 8 pages belongs to multiple tables. And if you go inside the extent, you can see a page. Page is nothing but a basic storage unit of SQL Server. So when you create any table, automatically the table will be created on a single page. Okay. When you create any table, automatically that particular page will be created on a single page. So if that page is not sufficient, SQL Server will allocate extra pages to that particular table. Like that, if you are keep on inserting the data, SQL Server will keep on allocating the pages to the table. So this is how the pages and all will be organized, okay, in the SQL Server, guys. Clear? So we can create only one table per page. Again, I'm saying page is not shareable. If you create a small table out of 8 KB, only 500 bits you used, still you have 7.5 KB free space. Shanmugh, can we create one more table in that particular page as we have enough free space? No. Only one table, one page. Whether you are inserting or you are using or you are not using, still one page can be sits on, one table can sits on only one page. If that page is not sufficient, SQL Server will add more pages. So a table can occupy multiple pages. Is this clear, guys? A table can occupy multiple pages. But A page cannot be occupied by multiple tables. Is it clear, everyone? A table can occupy multiple pages, but a page cannot be occupied by multiple tables. Everyone, is it clear? Very simple. The page is not shareable. The page is not shareable. If already one table is created, that will be marked as allocated. So again, SQL Server don't give the space to another table, even though there is a empty space, even though there is a lot of free space, even though there is 99% free space, still SQL Server don't allocate this space to any other table. That's it. The page will be locked with that particular object. Okay, so this is how generally the pages and all will be organized.
So mixed extent is a collection of different, we can say, pages, right?
Correct, correct.
So it is being shared, right? And different pages belongs to
See,
different
I am not
table.
saying extents can be shared, not pages.
Okay, but
I'm
extent is
saying
the collection of page.
That's what extent, that 8 page mixed extent is nothing but that 8 pages belongs to 8 different objects. Maximum 8 tables you can create. I am discussing about the page which is not shareable between the tables. Extent can be shareable. Extent can be shareable.
So space we can understand, or we can say like space is managed level, not the page level, right?
Extent is a basic store allocation unit.
Yeah, so if the allocation required for any database object, it will based on the extent level, not the page level, because it cannot be shared.
So initially, that's what in the morning session you missed it, right? Initially, if SQL Server directly allocates a uniform extent, what is the use of mixed extents then?
Based on situation, it will create a mixed or a uniform, right?
That's what. If it is directly allocates a uniform extent, then what is the use of mixed extent? You got my question, Salman?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So initially, okay. Initially, okay. Not sure whether the table is big or small, whether you are going to insert records or not, we are not sure. To save the storage, initially SQL Server will allocate, okay. Initially, SQL Server will allocate a page from the mixed extent. So if subsequent allocations are more, then it will allocate subsequent allocations from the uniform extent. So to save the storage, we should have mixed extents also. Why? Because you might create a small tables also. For one small table with one record or one column, why it has to waste 64 KB? Imagine there is no mixed extent, only uniform extent is there. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? What will happen when you create a table? Automatically, SQL Server will allocate 64 KB extent for you, right? If automatically SQL Server allocates 64 KB extent, then you are going to waste remaining 7 pages. Anyhow, you can create one table per page, right? So if that page is not extending, I mean, if that table is not extending, if no one is inserting the records, so you are going to waste 7 pages. So that's why we need uniform extent as well as we need mixed extent also. So initial allocations will be from mixed extent. The subsequent allocations will be from the uniform extent.
So to get the best performance, I was reading, not sure. So performance, SQL Server use mixed extent or uniform extent? I mean, 10 dB contention.
We can control this behavior, Salman. Okay. If you don't want mixed extent, that's why I don't want to go too internally here. Why? Because non-technical people also has
I was just saying as information. Yeah,
yes,
I don't want to go again in
yeah, we can control this behavior. If you don't want any page from mixed extent, you can still direct the SQL Server to give the extents, uniform extents itself from the beginning. For that, you have to enable one trace flag. I guess 1118, something like that, you have to enable.
1117 and 1118, but going 16 or SQL Server configuring, it is already by default it
By
should be
default,
enabled.
right.
Okay, no issue. Carry on. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how generally things will be organized in the tables, guys. Things will be organized in the SQL Server and all. Okay, so what we can do now, let me connect to the server. Okay, then we in the morning session we just discussed like creating the tables and all, right? I mean, just creating the databases, right? So what we can do now, okay, we'll just connect to the server and let's try to create some tables, guys. Okay. So guys, like non-technical people, if you don't understand, okay, this mixed extent, uniform extent and all, nothing to worry, guys, okay? Just to get extra knowledge, generally, if you go to 20 interviews, they might ask you out of 20, maybe one or two people will ask you about these extents pages and all. Okay, so you don't worry about this, guys. Okay, and generally 4 to 5 years experience level, mostly they don't ask. Okay, only one or two people will ask about these extents and all. Try to understand. If you are unable to understand in the first session, just again go and recap it. So, and I just want to.
Sorry if I bother anyone. I am just recalling to ask.
No problem, no problem. It's okay. That's not an issue. Okay. So, and one more thing, guys, I just shared all the softwares with you again. So what you can do, I hope you already received an email stating the same. If not received, okay, just go to your Google Drive. Go to your Google Drive, not Gmail. If you go to the Google Drive, you can see shared with me option, the left side, okay? Left side, you can see shared with me option. If you click on that, let me show you whether it is already opened. Google Drive, no. Yeah, if you just click on this shared with me folder, okay? Just click on, this is the Google Drive, guys. Just log into the registered Gmail ID that you already shared with me. And once you logged in, there is an option here, okay, drive option. If you click on that Google Drive, so automatically you will get this page, okay. Then click on share with me. You can see softwares folder. You can see Windows Server 2019, SQL Server 2019, SQL Server 2022, SSMS ISO. Okay, so all these things you can see in your particular shared with me option, guys. Okay, Windows Server 2019, SSMS ISO, SSMS setup file, the latest version 19.1, SQL Server 2022, SQL Server 2019. You can see all these softwares, guys. Okay, so just check that one once. You are able to download these softwares. If not, just let me know, guys. Okay, let me connect to the server then.
Sir, is there any architecture of SQL Server? Like how it will connect? What are the background behind that?
We'll discuss
What are
at
the
the end
memory?
of the session.
Okay.
Not now. Okay. So let me go to this management studio. So in the morning session, we discussed about the what I can say databases, right? Creating databases and all. So let's discuss again like how to create the databases. So using GUI, using command also we'll discuss. Okay, and then we'll try to create some objects like tables and all, and we'll insert some records. Just these are very basics of T-SQL, guys. So we'll never get a chance to write queries, insert queries, update queries. Okay, or else like create queries and all. 99% will never get chance. So developers will be there. They are going to take care of it. Still, if they are asking us to, okay, what I can say, create and all, you can directly ask them, please share the script so that we'll execute. Okay, so generally this is how we will do it. So 99% is DBAs. Okay, we don't create any of the objects, guys. Generally, like create tables and all, inserting records and all. So from the application side, generally you are going to get the values. Okay, generally developers also will create the tables and also nothing to worry about it. But you should know like how to create tables, how to insert the values. At least basics you should know. Okay, and how to search the data, how to use where condition and all. So we'll discuss those things, and then I'll show you guys how to do all these things and all. So GUI, I'll show you, even script also I'll show you. Okay, what and all queries we are going to use. Okay, to create these things and all. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm still loading. Sometimes see when you shut down the server unexpectedly, you might have seen these kind of windows, guys. So last time what happened, the laptop was shut down automatically. So I didn't properly shut down the server. I didn't properly close the server. So that's why you can see these kind of things. So you can select recover selected files. So whatever queries we ran in the morning, we can see all the queries, guys. So all the windows and all you can see. So again, I'll create one more database. Okay, so I'll also show you how to create database using command also. So there is a command, you can use that command also to create the database. Generally, we don't use any commands, and we'll generally, okay, we'll follow GUI options only to create the database. And we discussed a lot of things while creating the database. We discussed the database name, logical names, file groups, auto growth option. Okay, and we discussed the path, we discussed the physical files and all, everything we discussed in the morning session while creating the database. Okay, so again, I'll show you, okay, just a brief, like how to create the database and all. So, it is taking time. What might be the reason, guys? Can anyone guess?
Maybe the service is stopped.
Right, very good. Okay, so how to fix this one?
Go to the service.msc, then start the service.
So go to services.msc, guys. Maybe service is down kind of thing. So just go to the services and just hit yes. You can see all the services starts with yes. So if you see here, it is not running. Okay, so that's why you got that error. Okay, so in what cases generally will get this error, guys? Can anyone tell me in what cases generally will get this error?
So if the service is stopped, if the user ID and password are wrong.
User ID is password wrong.
No, sir. Sometimes instance is incorrect, or like SQL Server is not running.
Network
So
related
if
error.
Yeah, network related.
When we
issue.
type wrong IP address.
if we specify the host name wrong, then
I asked you to complete one assignment. Anyone completed that assignment? Vibhuti, have you tried?
yes, sir, we can try to, sorry, we can connect to SQL Server by dot localhost and the IP address.
Dot localhost, I told you, right, in the morning.
And IP address,
What IP address you can give?
the missing of IP address.
Only IP address is enough.
With port number.
First, we should enable TCP/IP.
Okay. Right, okay, so in what and all scenarios we'll get this error, guys. So sometimes you might face these issues, okay? So in what and all scenarios you'll get this error generally. So first case is if the SQL server is not running, you will get this error. Okay, that is one common error, you will get it. So when the SQL service is stopped, the two database engine service is stopped, so you will get this big error. And again, guys, one more thing I just want to tell you. So whenever you got the error, don't simply click OK. Just read the whole error. Sometimes in the error description itself, they will provide the solution also. So here also, if you see, a network related or instance specific error occurred while establishing a connection to SQL Server. It is saying the server was not found or was not accessible. Verify that the instance name is correct and that the SQL Server is configured to allow remote connections. So see here, it just gave three solutions. The server was not found or was not accessible. Means when it was not found, generally, if it is in stopped state, it was not found. That is one case. Second case, if you gave the wrong server name, see here, verify that the instance name is correct and the SQL server is configured to allow remote connections. If the instance name is correct, or if you give the wrong instance name, where there is no such kind of server, then also you'll get this error. First case is, if the SQL services are not running, you'll get this error. That is the first case. How to troubleshoot? Go to services.msc, check whether SQL services are up and running or not. If they are installed, 99%, it will be up and running only, but there is a chance, okay? It might stop state also. So check, and that too while practicing, you might face these issues, right? So check whether SQL services are up and running or not. That is one solution. Second solution is check whether you are giving proper server name or not, whether you are giving correct server name or not. Okay, check whether you are giving correct server name or not. In this case also, if you give wrong server name, then also you will get this error. Third case is it should be like remote connection should be enabled. Okay, I'll show you where we have to enable the remote connections and all. Allow remote connections should be enabled. Okay, and generally, apart from all these things, in case if you have like very high usage of CPU or memory, that means if you have very less resources, in such case also there is a chance to get these kind of errors, guys. Timeout errors, where SQL Server is not found the enough resources. In such case also you will get this kind of timeout errors. These are the cases. One is SQL Server is not running. Second one is instance name is wrong or not correct. And third case is in case if any remote connections are all not enabled. And fourth case is in case if the resources are busy with other processes. In all these scenarios, we'll generally get this error. So the troubleshooting steps are like you have to check whether SQL services are up and running or not. You have to check whether you gave the correct instance name or not. So this is not login failure error. Someone said in case login name.
Sorry, sir, not audible clearly.
Guys, can you hear me? Is my audio clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just check it, Vibhuti.
Yeah, you are clear.
Yeah, okay. So, right. Apart from this, we will also check all these things, right? And right. So we have to check, guys, whether SQL services are up and running or not, whether you gave the wrong, whether you gave the correct instance name or not. So someone said if the login name and password is incorrect. So if the login name and password is incorrect, you don't get this error. This is separate. Login name and password incorrect is completely separate. So directly you will get that error in case if the login name and password is incorrect, the login failed. Login failure errors you will get it. That is one line error you will get it, not this 4 lines error. Okay. So this is nowhere related to the login issues. This is related to network services. Okay. And this remote connections. And in case if the resources are busy, if you don't have enough CPU, if the server don't have enough CPU and memory, in all these cases, we are going to get this error, guys. Okay. Just click OK and just click connect.
Shanmugh, Praveen.
Yes. Yeah, Praveen, tell me.
Yeah, as you have given the assignment, I have created with uh, dot host, sorry, local host and local. But can you show us the how the remaining we can do?
Assignments I don't show. It's not possible. Assignment you have to complete on. If it's
No. As one of our colleagues said that we can create through IP address also, no?
It's not create. It's not create. Connect. Okay, so we are not going to create anything. Yeah, we are going to connect. Why? Because terminologies are very important. Okay, just try it. Just try it once. Okay. Now, what you tried? Tell me. What you tried with IP address? What you tried? Okay, some of your colleagues said we can try connecting to the SQL Server with IP address. So, what you tried in that case?
Okay, I will try.
Yeah, just try it once. Why? Because see, guys, I can give 3 hours lecture continuously, but how much you're taking is important. How much efforts you're putting is also important. Okay, just try it. Why? Because I can tell in single line. I can show you in 1 second. If you are trying, at least you will get interest, and it will be like you can easily remember those things and all. Just try. That's why the main use of the assignment. Otherwise, again, what is the use of giving assignment? Okay, so just check it once. If you're really stuck, just ping me in WhatsApp. Okay. Right, fine. So now in the last class we discussed in the like how to create the database, right? Again, I'm creating one more new database. So this time I'll create a sales database, guys. So I'll give the name as sales. So when you give the name as sales, this is the logical name, sales and sales underscore log. This is the logical name. And again, this is the data file, which is MDF file. And this is the log file. Okay. And like the data file will be created in the primary file group. Okay. The data file will be created in the primary file group. Log file doesn't have any file group concept. So there is no concept of file group for log file. So you can see not applicable. So initial sizes of data file and log file will be 8 MB, 8 MB. So you can increase this, okay, size during the, how we got 8 MB here? Can anyone tell me why?
Through model database, because it will take the template from the model.
Very good. Okay. So yeah, we'll be discussing the system databases, guys. Shanmukh, why it has like it is showing 8 MB here? Why not some other MB? So this will be discussed. Okay. So all these values, okay, all these values. Okay, so we are inheriting these values from the model database. So I'll tell you, we have in system database class where I'll tell you. So initially 8 MB for the data file, for the log file also. And auto growth, guys, by default in every database, auto growth should be enabled. Any questions in the auto growth, tell me, guys. I'm happy to explain again, no issues for me. Any questions in the auto growth?
So suppose auto growth has it is, we can change it by 100 or 500, whatever. So after enabling the auto growth, sometimes we saw we increase size also, because we get saying log file is full or data file is going to full. So why it is required? Is it mandatory to increase the initial size if the auto growth is already enabled?
See, it's not important. See, generally it depends. See, for example, here I'll tell you what happened is, if you give 8 MB and if you are giving auto growth and all, okay, so there is a concept of VLF, virtual log files, okay. Log file internally will be divided into virtual log files.
Correct.
So if you are keep on adding, initially you are creating 8 MB file and you selected, okay, you selected in percentage some 10% or 20%. So every time if this 8 MB is full, again SQL Server will try to add, okay, some portion of storage, right? Or especially for this log file, some portion of storage will be added. Okay, you're asking about log file. So when you are adding the storage, what happened? Too many VLFs will be created, virtual log files. So too many VLF can cause performance issues. So that's why sometimes what generally people will do is like initially they'll do 1024. Okay, then the subsequent, like once the 1024 MB is full, then the auto growth they are going to add again 1024 based on the requirement. Some projects will have 1024 directly. So if that particular size is already met, then automatically 1 GB will be added to the existing data file, guys. And data file we don't limit, but log file will be limited to 2 TB. Okay, log file size is limited to 2 TB. So you cannot, like log file cannot grow more than 2 TB, guys. Okay, so auto growth is important on all the databases. Automatically it has to grow. Otherwise, we cannot go and monitor each and every data file, each and every log file, and we cannot go and add every time. We cannot add. Why? Because we have to maintain thousands of databases in the organization. So it's difficult to add the storage and all. So in the morning we discussed, right, how auto growth will work. The same concept, guys. So when you choose auto growth, if you choose in percentage, it will increase, it will grow in percentage. If you choose on and around like megabytes, automatically that particular megabytes will be added. Once the file, okay, once the initial size is full, automatically extra space will be added. So from where it is going to be added, guys? In which drive you are storing the files, from that particular part, it is going to take the storage. Like in the morning, we also discussed, right? We just added extra storage. So
Hello?
from that, it is going to add. Yes, please.
Sir, I wanted. Sir, how can I know to pass 1024 MB or 10% in that particular position of auto growth?
If you go to any server, any database, you can see auto growth settings.
Yeah, I can, but how to decide? We have to pass.
You will see, you are not going to decide per database. That is organization standards. Already server is there. It's running with 1024 or percentage. You will also follow the same thing. It's not like every database you are going to decide the things.
suppose I have to create the first database, then
Go to another server, check whether they enabled auto growth in percentage or in megabytes. Check it.
Okay.
Very
I
simple
think
thing,
it is
right?
much better. I think it is much better to auto growth in MB or MB, sir.
That's what in the morning we
Because
discussed in match. That's what we
yeah,
just discussed. In MBs is better thing. 99% MBs only will be there, but still you are not going to decide, Bibhuti. So already we'll finalize one thing. We'll follow the same thing across the project. So in case while creating you have a doubt, okay, go to another server. Just check it. What is the auto growth? What values they mentioned? There you can see whether in percentage and megabytes. So based on that, you can just the same kind of settings you can enable here. Or sometimes
And also,
what they will do, model database itself, they will change. Generally, in some organizations, they'll directly change to model database. So whenever you are creating a new database, automatically, whatever model database settings are there, those settings will be inherited to the newly created database. So again, no need to, okay, change the settings of auto growth and all.
and
sir,
also,
after
sir, we can you how the growth is happening. Suppose you have created a new and you have given a sufficient space. You are going to create new, you are just giving 8 MB. You know it is very less, right? So you should give at least 1 GB, 2 GB and growth. Based on that, you can decide, okay, this much MB is required to avoid BLF, any kind of space issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, this is not going to be per database. Your organization will follow some standards. So if you have any doubts and all, like in previous server, in other server, how they enable, what kind of settings they enable, you can just check it and we can follow the same settings in the new database that you are creating.
Correct. You can match what are the things they are configured already.
Yeah. So the path, this is the path case data file you can store in a particular path. Generally in the organization, we will have separate drives, guys. Separate drives for data files, separate drives for log files and all. So data files will be stored in the data drive, log files will be stored in the log drive. So we are going to change the path in the organization. So that also you'll get to know once you are in the organization. The KT actually, they have to explain all these things. Still, if you don't find anything, but these are like self-explanatory, you can go to any other server.
sir,
You
the
can check
metadata will store also in the data file.
MDF file. MDF file.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the things, guys. So options generally we don't change anything. Okay, options. And one more thing I just want to show you, owner of the database. So who will be the owner of the database, guys? Who will be the general owner of the database? If I do,
yes,
yes, yeah.
Created
Okay.
the database.
Yeah, if I don't give SCA, generally who is creating the database, he will be the owner of the database, guys. So there is a chance that that guy might be he might left the organization, so his account will be deleted, so it will create some problems, right? So generally SCA is a permanent
And sir,
login, so we are going to allocate SCA login here. Yes, Salman.
for security reasons, organization disable the SA. Then what is the recommendation? We can use this account kind of.
In case, yeah, people will use service account also. Yeah, in case if SA is disabled and all, people will use service account also.
Because
Right.
SA is a common, everyone knows.
Correct.
Organization disabled.
Correct. So even though people know SCA login, if they don't know password, it's difficult to crack, right? So definitely SCA login is there. We know that. So we cannot randomly try, right? We cannot randomly try.
But the thing is, we can give any hint also. We are using SA.
That's what.
That is the higher, yeah.
That's what.
there are lots of layers.
Yes.
If they know the password, they can't breach.
That's what. So people will think like that, but again, okay. So there is no meaning of again, okay, disabling SCA. I don't feel like that, okay. Yeah. So if you go to options, you can see different options: recovery model, compatibility levels, and also these things will be discussed, guys. What is recovery model and all? We have a separate class on that. Compatibility level means if you are creating a SQL Server in 2019, all the databases that belongs to SQL Server 2019 will have a compatibility level of 150. Okay, all the SQL Server that belongs to SQL Server 2019 will have the compatibility level of 150. You can go down, okay? So that you can choose 140 or 130 or 120, 100 or 110. So you can go down, guys, but there are some scenarios you have to go down. I'll tell you those things and all, okay, later. So remaining all these things we don't change, and file groups in case if you want to, okay, if you want to like add extra file groups and all, if you want to add extra
In
file groups,
2029, hello,
tell me.
2019, we can change the compatibility level.
Why we cannot change the compatibility level in 2019?
So that belongs to only 2019. Now, then why we need to change?
See here, we can, that's what I'm saying. We don't generally change it, but there are some scenarios. Okay, I'll tell you in case of any performance issues and all, we have to go down. Okay, so I'll tell you guys. Okay, right. File groups here, Vibhuti, you asked one thing. I just want to create my data in the specific file group and all. So what you can do, you can add a file group here. Okay. So if you just add a file group here, FG2, and if you create any files in the FG2, and if you make this as a default, so all the data will goes to the files that are there in the file group 2. Okay. Default
Metadata?
means, I'm not sure, Vibhuti, what happened to you. Metadata always will go to that MDF file, man.
He is always with
You are still
metadata.
confusing. You're not confused. You're confusing others also. Metadata will goes to MDF file only.
But here you are choosing a
Here
FG2
default primary. Can I change the MDF file to another file group? Where the metadata will be stored? Tell me, Vibhuti. Where the metadata will be stored?
.mdf file.
.mdf file. Can I move the MDF file to another file group?
Not possible.
Not possible. So automatically metadata will be stored in the MDF file only. So you asked, can I create my own data in another file groups and all, right? For that, I'm giving you an option. We have a leverage that in case if you create FG2, file group 2 or whatever file group name you're comfortable, if you choose this as a default, automatically the data that you are giving or inserting will goes to the files that belongs to file group 2. Forget about metadata. Metadata will always goes to MDF file only. That's by default. Why? Because you cannot move the MDF file from primary to another file group. That is not possible. Okay, so still I don't want to store the data in the MDF file. I want to store in a specific files. Okay, then do like this: create one file group, add and create some files, add that files into the file group and make this as a default file group. Automatically user data will be stored in the default file groups.
And can we have a multiple primary file group or only one primary file group?
Only one primary file group. Only one primary file group. Primary is default file group that you will get it. You don't have multiple file group, multiple primary file groups. Only one primary file group. Okay, fine. So this is how generally you can make it as a default file group so that the user data, whatever data you are creating, especially if you make this as a default, so it automatically the data will goes to that particular file group only. So this is how you can do. I'm going to remove this. So now guys, if I want to create the database, generally we have a lines of script. So I'm going to script out this action. So
Shanmugh, one question.
yes, please.
Here, sometime I'm creating the database, that time MDF file also showing in this database files. Like third row. One is log file, one is MDF, and one is primary. Here it is showing 2 rows.
No, I'm not getting your question. So when you're creating the database,
I don't know about version or what. It is showing me first primary database, then log, and MDF. 3 rows will be there.
Then log and MDF here in the file group section.
Here, if I want to change any path, then I am changing because of data size. Okay, but here only 2.
Generally 2 rows only will be there. Not 99%, 100% 2 rows only will be there. I am suspecting might be in the model database they did some changes. They added one file group, something like that by default. So that's why you're able to see 3 files.
Okay, so suppose here no MDF is there, then MDF is not going to create?
There is no question of no MDF. You cannot create database without MDF.
Maybe change the extension. You can change the extension.
No, not extension change, because
So that's what,
I'll again
without just send me the
server run
screenshot.
and
I'll just send me the screenshot. I can decrypt that one. Okay, why? Because generally only 2 files will come. Okay, when you are creating a database. So if 3
I
files
think
are coming
logical,
means
I think
if
logical name should be different if
anyhow you
there is
don't get
3.
3 files. You don't get 3 files at all. When you will get the 3 files, if they did some changes to model database to add 3 files, in that case, the newly created databases will get 3 files. Okay, so nowhere, no version, you will get the 3 files. So if it is real, why? Because even I worked with 2022 also. There also, when you are creating the database, you will get 2 files only by default. Maybe in your organization, as per the requirement, they might added extra file to avoid keeping the user data in the MDF file. They might added any MDF file in another file group. So that by default, they became a practice. So they might did some changes to the model database. Okay. So I'll show you during the discussion of system databases, if I do any changes, say for example, if I add any extra file to model database, then while creating one more new database, I'll get, if I have 3 files here, you will also get 3 files there. So just check the model database properties once. Okay.
sure.
Yeah. Fine. So guys, this is very important option. So you can script out the things. Okay. You can script out the actions that you did till now. So if you want to see the script to create the new database, just click on the script button so that it will create a script in the new query window. Okay. So see, this is the script. So how much big script is there to create the database? Create. What you are creating? I am creating a database. What is the database name? Sales. And you can see all other settings and options and files, logical files and physical files like locations sales.mdf, sales_log.ldf, initial sizes, compatibility levels, and different other settings also you can see here, guys. Different other settings also you can see here. So if you want to create a database, either you can run the script or you can just click OK. I told you, right? GUI SQL Server don't understand GUI, guys.
Shanmugh, since you have shown that script for creating database, for every action, we can
You can
convert this
generate. Yes. If you did any changes, you can convert that changes into script. See, the GUI.
Can you please show that how?
That's what is it? Just now, whatever changes you now, I'm creating one database, Praveen. I just scripted out, right? It just created a script. In the same way, if you have any action, you can see the same option. Click on the script button. It will show you the script for that action.
No. For creating database for any other action also, can we convert that GUI?
Any action can be converted from GUI to see. In the initial discussion also, I told you guys, SQL Server or Windows operating system don't understand the GUI. GUI is only for our purpose. Why GUI? What GUI will do? It will convert your actions into script. If I click OK, don't think SQL Server will create a database. What it will do, you know, if I click OK, this script only it will run in the backend. Why? Because SQL Server don't understand GUI. GUI is only for our purpose. Even the same thing we discussed, if you are doing refresh, it don't understand what is refresh. Operating system don't know what is refresh. But the action that you are doing will be converted as a command in the backend. That command will be executed in the operating system. I even shown you how to create a new folder. If you are choosing new folder, so Windows don't know the GUI, but when you select that option, this action internally will be converted into command, mkdir kind of command, make directory. So that command will execute. So GUI is only for our purpose. Whatever things, see, now I am trying to delete this. If I click yes, don't think OS will understand this yes. If I click yes, there will be internal command for this yes. So that command will run in the backend. Then only the folder will be deleted. In the SQL Server also same. Whatever you are doing using GUI at the end of the day, in the installation also I told you, guys, this is the window, but the operating system don't understand this GUI. Whatever options you have selected till now, 2.5 hours, we have selected some options, right? All those options will be converted into command at the end of the day. That command will be stored in the configuration file.ini. So when you click on install button, that configuration file.ini will be called into the command prompt, and it will decrypt each and every option, and it is going to install the SQL Server. Any action you do, you are doing refresh also. You don't understand what is refresh. There will be a command will run in the backend to refresh the server. Any action you do, it will generate a script. Okay, so that is the use of the GUI, guys. So GUI will act as an interface, intermediate, like it will act as an interface between the SQL Server and the user. I don't know what is the script to create the database. I have to write this many script, these many lines to create the database. So what GUI will help us? It will help us to generate this kind of script once you choose the options. So any action you do the same thing, whatever you want to do. So for example, I want to, what I can say, I want to do some changes on the database. Okay, if you go to the properties and all, I want to do some changes on the database. Okay, for example, files, what I'll do, I am going to change this as 8 MB. See, there is no action now. If you script out, you'll get an error. There is no action now. There is no action to be scripted. I am changing this value from 1024 to, okay, 1000 or just 10 MB. Now, if you did some change, right? So that change, what is the query? So if you just click on script out button, so that change you can see. So this is the change. I am changing the database. Okay, context, I am just shrinking the file, dvcc shrink file to 10 out of 1000 means 1024 MB. I am shrinking the file to 10 MB. So this command will run when I click OK. Every action will be converted into command. Okay. Right. So this is the command, guys. It will run in the backend to create the database. Either I can click OK or else I can cancel this and I can just script out. I can just check whether this is correct or not.
Sir, can you again explain please the shrink file?
It will script out. It will script out. Forget about that shrink file, Vibhuti. Forget about it. I am saying any action will be scripted out using GUI. Okay. So now if you see here database is make sure that the name is entered correctly. So now let me, okay, I'm just trying to select one thing. So let me execute this now. Okay. So see here, now sales database is not there, right? So if you just refresh, now you can see the sales database. So you can either use script to create the data, not only databases, whatever you want to do, you can script out or you can run the scripts. But as a DBAs, we don't like scripting and all. That's why we came to DBA database administration side, right? So that will be achieved with the help of GUI options. Praveen, is it clear now?
Yeah, clear.
Right. So, so now what we can do, guys, let's create a database using now this is the big script you have to run, right? You have to run this big script to create the database. Now let me open one more query window. Let me create one more database. Create database. Okay, what is the command to create the database? Using script. Create database, something like Azure database I'm creating. Okay, so can I run this statement to create the database? Guess it, guys. Can I run this statement to create the database?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But here, if you see here, see, maybe like 70 to 80 lines of coding is there. So now I'm just creating a database using these 3 words. Is it possible, guys, to create the database using these 3 words? What about other values and all? What about the file?
Yes, sir.
What about the file names? What about the file growth? What about the initial file sizes?
Default.
What is the path of the database?
So
Who is
it
the
will be
owner
set
of
by default.
who is the owner of the database? Guess it, guys. Can I create a database using this query?
Yes, sir. We can create.
So the answer is Yes, guys, we can create. So when you execute this query, don't think SQL Server blindly will execute the same query. Okay. SQL Server will add all the default parameters, whatever parameters are there. As I am not changing anything, so SQL Server, even though you are running these 3 words of statement, SQL Server in the backend, it will add some default parameters to create the database. So if you see now, I can still create the database using these 3 words. And if you refresh it, you can see Azure database. So don't think when you are running the script or when you are running some query, SQL Server blindly will execute. Depends upon the query you are running. It might, so you might get a doubt, who is the owner of the database, what is the auto growth and all these are default values. So SQL Server will add the default parameters to the existing script and then it will run, guys. And then it will run. See here, a auto growth and default owner. I told you, right? If you don't mention the owner, the user who is creating the database will become the owner of the database. Just right, okay. So this is how generally the database will be created with the default values and all. So these default values, who will add, guys? Database engine will add these default values while creating the database, guys. Okay. So how to change the context of the database, guys, while running the queries? Developers, please don't answer. I want to change the context of the database. In what ways, in how many ways we can change the context of the database? Context means here. Here, I want to change the context. Now whenever I'm running the query, it will run in the master database, right? This is what we discussed in the morning. So now I want to change the context. What is the query? What is the query, guys? Use database name. Okay. Use database name. You can use that query, guys. So either you can use this option also. So now I'm going to create a small table, guys. Okay. Small table, just very small table. So if I want to create a table, I can either create using GUI option. I can even create using query also. Both options I'll show you. But generally in the organizations, we don't create any tables as a DBS. Okay. Still, if we have to create means developers will view the script, will execute that script. But before executing the script, make sure you just go through the script once, check each and every line, any URLs and all is presented. Sometimes what developers will do, they might copy paste the script from the Google and all. They might miss the, of course, they 99% they will check it. They might miss some URLs and all. It will create some problem. So just go through the script once. Always when you're running the script, just try to check the script once. Okay, what and all things are going on, what and all objects, what and all keywords mentioned in the script, so that you'll be comfortable, guys. Okay, so that you'll be comfortable. So you'll be at least habituate for the terminologies and all. So let me create a small table. So when you're creating the table means what and all things you have to give, guys, generally while creating a table. Table means what? What is table? What is table,
Collection of
guys?
rows and columns.
Correct, correct. So if I want to create one Azure sales table, so what and all things I have to provide, guys? What are the main things that I have to provide to create a table?
Column name, data
What and
type.
all, yeah, what data you are trying to collect, right? The table, what data you are trying to insert or collect. So based on that, you are going to create a table, right? So now I want to create a sales table, guys. I want to create a sales table. What can be the expected columns in the sales table?
Serial number, product name,
Very good.
price.
Price, right? So you can just create one table with all these things. So what I'll do generally, every objects will have, when you are creating, will have IDs, guys. So let's add this sales ID. Okay, sales ID is one column. Product name is one column. Okay, and product name or item name one column, and the cost is one column. Right, now you go to the market, guys. Guys, this is very basic level I am explaining. I'm sorry, Ranjana, and lot of developers are there, not lot of actually people are there, professionals are there. So I'm just explaining for the non-technical students. Okay.
Sure,
Fine.
no problem.
Yeah. So guys, you went to the market. Now you want to buy some bananas. How you'll ask? How you'll ask, guys?
Dozen banana.
Dozen bananas, or 1 kilo bananas, or whatever, 1 kilo apples, or you want to buy some milk. How you are going to ask? You want to buy a milk, 1 liter milk. You cannot ask 1 kg milk, right? So 1 kg milk, if you ask, means how they are going to look into you, right? If you ask 1 kg milk, half kg milk, you cannot ask. Why? Because that is not appropriate metrics that you have to use, right? For milk means definitely it should be liters only. Oil, either mostly oil also liters only. Okay, or mostly oil also liters only. Like that, every product that you are buying, there will be a matrix, right? If you are buying apples, you will buy either kg or 2 kgs apple or 3 kgs. That kgs is called matrix. So when you are telling about your height, you will tell 6 feet, 5 feet. That is a metric. When you are calculating a distance, you will tell 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, like yes, Shrikant, units, right? So in the same way, that unit is called data type. Okay, that unit is called data type. Sales ID, what kind of data it has to accept? ID, what kind of data it can accept, guys? Generally, if you want to insert some data in this, what kind of data you can insert?
Numeric value.
Numbers, numerics. So you can insert, right? So like this, every column that you are creating in the SQL server, you have to mention the data type. That means what type of data it is going to accept. In the same way, product name can be like, you have to give one type of data. Okay, what type of data it has to accept? Characters, varchar. So like this, we have some data types are there. Cost means what, guys? Cost means what? Cost means you have to tell money only, like 1,000 rupees or 2,000 rupees or 3,000 rupees. So cost cannot be 1 kg, 2 kgs, right? So the price, the matrix you are using 1,000 rupees, that is called unit. So I just want to say every column will have a data type. Data type means what the type of data it is going to accept. And Ranjana, please correct me if I am wrong. I am also not good in T-SQL. If you want to add some points, you can add it. Okay. So what type of data this column has to add means it will accept. So we have different types of data type. We have different data types in the SQL server, guys. We have integer, integer for numbers and all, integer numbers and all you can give. Characters for data, like for what you can say, string kind of value, you can give characters. Varchar max. Okay, and money, date, time. Okay, and text, and text. Okay, and what else, guys? We have a lot of data types. Yeah, a lot of data types. Just these are some sample data types only. Okay. So now let's create the table, a sample table. Let's create the sample table in the Azure database. So what I want to create, I just want to create, right? So what is the keyword that we will use? Create. What you are trying to create, I'm trying to create a table. Create table. So each table will have a table name, right? Create table, table name, sales. Okay. So in the brackets, you have to include the columns. So first column as discussed, sales ID. So this sales ID, what type of data it has to accept? Numbers, right? Integer.
Integer.
Right? Comma. Product name. Okay, this is second column that we are going to create. Beside the column name itself, you can include the data type also. So I'm going to add varchar of 50 or 100. And I am going to include the cost column also. Cost. The data type
Yes,
is money. Okay, so close the brackets, guys. Close the brackets. If you don't close it, you will get the error here. See, at the end of the command, you can see one line, red line. Okay, so that means it is not correct. And if you check here, you can see, okay, incorrect syntax near money. It is clearly saying, I'm sorry. It is clearly saying incorrect syntax near money. So something is missing here. So just make sure to, you just open this, right? So you have to close this braces. So this query I want to run. So where I want to create this table, I want
sir,
to
I have one
create
doubt.
yes, Vibhuti.
Sir, before table, can I number of page allocation or size of the database by
No,
query?
no, that is not possible. As far as I know, I'm not sure that is going to be possible. Okay, so how many pages? Why? Because see the very logical thinking, Vibhuti. Do you know how many records you are going to insert in this table?
No,
If you don't know how many pages you are going to allocate now, are you going to waste the storage?
no. By default, there is one page.
By default, you will get one page only. When you create this table will be created on a single page.
Oh, sir, that's I want to ask. Can
This
you show me?
That's what you're asking.
size
Can
of-
I add multiple? See, you're asking like you're asking while creating itself, can I include number of pages, right? You're asking.
No. While creating a table, can I check the size of the database or page number of page allocated in the table
You
for
can
this table?
you can check after creating, not while creating.
Okay.
You can check after creating. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So I am going to check whether this query is right or wrong first, and then I am going to execute this query, guys. Okay, this query is right. And again, before running the query, what you have to do, guys? We discussed two important things. Before running any query, what you have to do?
We need to check the
Database. Which database we can?
Correct.
no.
No. Then what we have to do, Praveen?
Actually, in which database it is going to create here
Yes.
in the Object Explorer. Of
Right.
the
So the
database.
main thing is like you have to parse it whether this query is right or wrong. But even though if you miss it to parse, not an issue. But very important thing is where you are creating this table, where you are creating. This is very, very important. If you expand Azure, you don't see any tables here. You don't see any tables here. Okay. So when I create a new table, automatically you can see the table here. So I am going to see now if I don't select this line, what will happen? Without selecting the line, if I execute, what will happen, guys?
Both line execute.
I have a quick question for all of you. Without selecting this query, if I execute the whole statements, whether my table is going to create or not.
No.
Table will be created.
Guess it, guys.
No. Because this AGO exists.
So it will stop
created
here,
and
stop here only.
one error like AGO data already exists like that.
See, if table is not exist, it will create. Database is exist, it will fail that query. It is not dependable. Both queries are independent.
Correct. Okay, so here, even though you run it, it will be executed successfully. For this statement, you will get the error. For this statement, it will execute. Okay, so it's not like once you got the error, it will stop here. No, if this line is like error, if this line is creating error, still it don't stop here. It will proceed for the next line, and all. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
because this is not T-SQL.
Correct.
Yeah,
So,
it is not in begin or each query is different.
Correct. So if you see here, now the command is successfully executed, guys. So now if you just expand the database, expand the tables, you cannot see the table. So what you have to do? What you have to do?
Refresh.
Just refresh. Always refresh, guys. Always refresh. Okay. So this is how generally you can create the tables, guys. This is how generally you can
Shanmugh,
create.
can create in right?
Sorry, create.
In like,
Praveen, your voice is breaking.
He's saying,
Yeah,
can
we
we
can
create a
create.
table with the help of?
Can we create a table with the help of GUI?
Yeah, yes.
That we have already discussed it, right? That means initially I told you that we can create table using GUI as well as using query also. If you want to create table using GUI table, right click new table. Okay, so now this time I'm going to create items table. Okay, so item ID, data type ID, right? So I'll choose, see, these are all data types only. If still wants to check what and all data types are there, you can use these data types, guys. Okay, so I am going to choose integer. Okay, and item name varchar of 50 or 100, whatever you. Okay, color. Okay, color same varchar of something like this 50. So now what you can do, okay, if you see here save button, just click on save button. It will ask you the table name, items. Okay, if you click OK, then the table is created, guys. If you just refresh it, you can see two tables will be there, items. Okay, so you can create table using GUI also. Fine. Right. So now I want to insert some values in this table, guys. I want to insert some values in this table. So how to insert the values in this table? So there is a command for this in the GUI also you can do that. Okay, GUI also you can do that. So using command insert statement you have to use. Yeah, insert. What you are trying to do? Insert into where you are trying to insert table. What you are trying to insert? Values. Insert into table name values. Okay, sorry. Table, what is the table name, guys? Sales, right? Insert into table name values. So you have to just include the values 1 comma. So whenever you are giving a string, you have to always keep it in the single quotes, guys. Okay, whenever you are giving a character type of data, always you have to keep it in the single quotes. Product name, t-shirts. Okay, close the single quotes, comma, cost is something like that, 2000, close it. So this is one record. Okay, so I'm going to just include like this 5 records. Okay, same statement. So second record, third record, fourth record, fifth record. So you can just change this to t-shirts to shirts. Okay, and you can just change this to trousers. Okay, and this you can change it to kurtas, and this you can change it to jeans. Okay, so something like this. So 3000, and this will be 2000 again, and this will be some 4000, and this will be okay some 5000. Let it be. Okay, so now if you want to insert, you can just select all these lines, what you can say, records, and you can just check whether this is right or wrong. Once safe side, always at least initially habituate this parse button, guys. It is very helpful. Okay, so directly you can execute, but again at least habituate for this parse button. Later once you got some real-time experience and all, you can just skip it, but at least initially try to parse it before executing the query. So now you can see 5 records are inserted. Now you can see each record, it will show you 1 row affected, 1 row affected, 1 row affected, 1 row affected. So now we created the table and we just inserted the values, and then now I want to see the values that are there in the sales table, guys. So what is the query we can use to see the values that are there in the sales table? So we'll use select query to read the data. We'll use select query, guys. Select what? I want to read all the columns. Star means all the columns. If you mention star, that means all the columns. Select, I want to read the whole table, right? So if you read all the columns, you are able to read the whole table, right? Star. From where I have to read? I can read from table name, which is sales. Okay, from table name, which is sales, guys. So now I am going to execute this query. Okay, so now I am going to execute this query. So can I execute this query, guys? What output I will get it if I execute this query?
Our data is in that sales table.
It will show all the code.
Right? Are you sure?
Need to
Yes, sir.
choose database name.
What is the
AGO.
database name?
Sorry, sales already sales. Okay.
Right. Without
But
choosing the database name, I want to read the table. What I can do? So now if I execute, guys, if I execute, I'll get the error. What error I'm getting?
Select star from database name dot table name.
Right. What error I'm getting, guys? Invalid object name. I just created sales table, right? But still I'm getting invalid object name. Why like that?
Because it is in Amazon top
So the table is created in which database?
SEO.
Yes, okay. So the table is created in the SEO database, guys. So that's why you are getting the error. So now if you just execute the same query, you can see the records, all the records, guys. So if you use star means you are able to see all the columns. So now the thing is, without changing the database name here, I just want to read the data in the sales table. How to do that? I don't want to change the database context.
We will use database name .dbo .table name.
So yes, correct. Okay, so guys, if you are telling about your address, what you will tell first? You will tell your state, then your district or city, whatever it is, then area, then road, then building number, then floor, right? So in the same way, I can identify you, right? So in the same way, if you want to read the data, so where it was created in the database, right? So sales. So what is the database name? SEO dot. What is the schema name? DBO dot. What is the table name? Sales. So if you just execute this query without changing the database context also, you can run this. This is how generally developers will include the table names. So this is nothing but the first part is your database name. The second part is your schema name. Schema is a logical container of the objects. And the third part is your table name. So by default, a DBO schema, when you create a table, by default, DBO schema will be created. And in that logical schema, the table will be created. So like this, if you execute, then also without changing the database name here, you can still get the data. See, it was Amazon only here, but still you are able to get the data. Why? Because this is the complete name. Still, sometimes people will
So
write
what is the
like this.
table?
Database DBO is the default schema. Default schema. See, when you create any database table, sorry. So the tables logically, generally, we just discussed physical hierarchy, right? So the logical hierarchy will be in the databases, schemas will be there. Under the schemas, tables will be created. So schema is a logical container of the objects, guys. So by default, when you don't give any schema name, SQL Server will create the tables in the DBO schema. So that's why while giving, you have to, if you don't include schema name, automatically it will add the DBO schema, guys. So now if you see here, can I execute a query like this to read the data? Without schema, can I execute?
No.
I
No.
think Azure dot sales will execute.
Azure.sales. Okay, let's try.
Yes.
Azure.sales. Guys, I do not want to give any break. We will close the session quickly. So after this, we'll go for a small session. Okay, people are having some challenges, right? So I can help you on that. So that's why there is no break. Huh? I'll close the session in 5 minutes. Then we'll go for that particular troubleshooting and all. People are having some issues. So I'll give you some time, guys, to troubleshoot. So don't worry. Right? So I can give like this, guys. So the table is created in the default schema. No need
Sir,
to.
what is schema can you explain?
Will tell you. I just told you, right? It is a logical container of the objects, guys. Logically, the tables will be created in each schema. Without schema, the table won't be created. Okay. So schema is nothing
Can
but
we
a
create a
logical.
schema?
Yeah, we can create schema name. The organizations will have
So
custom user schemas will
it
be
is
there,
best
guys.
practice to create schema, or by default DBO schema is
Best
good?
best practice to create schemas. Generally, in the organizations will have different schemas. Ranjana, what do you follow? Are you going to create schemas regularly, or you are going to include in the DB only?
No, we are using particular schemas.
Okay. So all the tables, right?
So the
Yeah,
schema will be
actually,
decided
right
by
practice
client.
is to create the different tables in different schema to understand. Because if it's big, so right category of the tables.
Okay.
Sir,
So
can I
then,
give one example regarding schema?
Ranjana, can you help here, please?
Suppose
Yes.
I want to create some table regarding accounting module. Then I can create one schema with accounting one. Am I correct?
See, generally, what you can say, that's a logical grouping, I can say. Okay, so logical grouping, you can create accounting module and all, you can still create, but all accounting related tables I can create in accounting module schema.
Yes, sir. That's I want to ask.
Yeah, so that you can do that. I can
Understanding.
say that's what the logical grouping. Salaries, all the salaries related tables and all, I can create a salary schema. HR related tables and all, HR schema I can create. The logical grouping of tables, I can say it's a schema.
You can say like a family.
Yeah, family name.
Kind
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Renu. So guys, like this also you can give, but when you can give like this, if you are using default DBO schema, if your table is in the default DBO schema, no need to mention DBO. You can just give database name dot sales. Why I am telling all these things? Because developers will write the coding like this, guys. So you cannot go to developer, hey Ranjana, you forgot to include DBO schema here, it is showing some error here. You cannot ask Ranjana. So sometimes
This error is fine. It is showing this error.
it will show like that, but you can still, you are able to see the data, right?
Yeah, is there any reason behind this? Why it is showing
Nothing
the
like
red
that.
mark?
It is, see, SMS is not able to recognize. That's it. As per, it is thinking like as per the structure, it is not there. So that's why it is giving red mark. Okay. So here sometimes developers will write coding like this also. They will include the table names and all like this also. So you should be able to understand, okay, they are using some default schema. They are trying to pull the data from the default schema. That's why. Otherwise, we need to discuss all these things. But at least when you're trying to understand the coding and all, like it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So this is how generally you can read the data, guys. So in the next class, I'll tell you where condition and all, how to filter the columns, how to filter the records and all. In the next class we'll discuss, guys. So now what I'm going to do, people are facing some challenges while practicing, so I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes time. If anyone is ready with the laptop, you can share your screen. I can help you to fix those things, guys.
Sir, I am ready.
Yes. Okay. So what is the difference between DBA and Praveen? The DBA means maintenance. We are going to take care of it, Praveen. Okay, mainly maintenance, right? Maintenance of the SQL server. Developers are going to like take care of the. I told you, right? If you want to pull some records, I told in the Amazon.com website, if you are clicking on that particular product, you are able to see that product only. How you are getting? You have to write one query, write one logic, right? That will be taken care by the developers. Maintenance is our part, like backups, restores, maintaining the storage, and enough free space is there or not, checking these things, giving permission, setting up the things, configuring the things, troubleshooting the issues will be taken care by the DBA team. Okay, designing and all will be taken care by the developers. No. Yeah, developers will use scripts only. Okay, that doesn't mean developers don't use GUI. They will also use GUI when there is a need. Okay. Okay, you thought like those who are using scripts, they are developer DBAs, and those who are using GUI, they are DBA, like that you thought, or nothing like that.
Yeah. That
I
is
got your point. Yeah, I got your point. So not like that. Developers' responsibilities are completely different. Okay. Yeah, you can share the screen, guys. What problem you have? Just who is that? Who is going to share the screen?
Sir,
Is there
anything
any
else
separate course for developers also, like
Separate.
TSQL
Sorry, separate.
course? Like right now,
T-SQL for developers, there is a separate course which is T-SQL. Okay. They should be proficient in T-SQL. If you want to be a developer, you should be good in T-SQL, Transact SQL. That is a language, SQL language. Just guys, quickly, someone asked me in the WhatsApp, you are facing an issue. What is the issue you are facing while configuring the things? Amarendra, yeah, tell me, Amarendra, what is the
Yeah, I
problem?
am sharing, sir.
Yeah. What is the problem, Amarendra?
Sir, there in Breeze network, then my server is got disconnected.
Bridge adapter, you selected bridge adapter.
Yeah, Breeze adapter.
So it was
When I was
disconnected.
using when I then that time I was not getting that type of issue.
When you are using what? When you are using
Server 2022.
okay, 2022, what you are not getting?
That time I was not getting that issue.
What is the issue?
Right now, sir, like I am starting the server, sir. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Sir, right.
Explain the
Failed to
details.
open a session.
Explain the details. What it is saying? Host interface networking media adapter. PCIe adapter. Okay. Will to attach the network. So go to the network settings.
Like, sir.
Network settings.
Using NAT, it is connecting.
So bridge adapter is having issue. Which version of Oracle VirtualBox you are using?
6.1. Maybe 4.6.
Same version you are using?
I have checked everything.
So when you are selecting, this is new issue, man. No one got this issue.
I have checked everywhere, sir, on YouTube, on Google. I am not getting the solution.
That's what. If you choose bridge adapter, it is automatically disconnecting. Huh?
Yeah.
Let's do one. So go to the settings again. Just go to the network settings again. So if you choose NAT, then you are not able to connect RDP, right?
No. When I am using NAT, that is working.
When you are using NAT, when you are using NAT, are you able to use RDP?
Yeah. No.
No, that's what I'm asking. So when you are using NAT, RDP feature is not going to work, right? So you should use bridge adapter only. So when you are selecting bridge adapter, automatically it is showing like this. It was disconnected. Okay. Have you tried changing the names? Have you checked with another name?
What name, sir?
In the bridge adapter, if you go down the bridge adapter.
Okay. I have checked everything, sir.
So that is not going to work. So just log into this machine once. What IP you are getting?
10.0.
Yeah, it will be like local IP.
2.15.
Yes. 10.2.0.15, I guess. This is the new error. I haven't seen these kind of errors till now. So let me check the IP address first. And okay.
Right now I am using Breeze network.
Okay.
Connected.
Okay, which is showing media disconnected.
I think the same problem with my also. As using some standard Pro version is not used.
No, that's okay, but this is nowhere related to the Pro or Home. It shouldn't be like
I am using Windows Server 2012 to.
What is this operating system
getting
version?
that issue.
What is this OS?
This one is 2011.
2011.
Yes, sir.
Do we have 2011?
Yes, sir.
No.
My 2011. Sorry, 11.
Why you attached 11 operating system here?
Are you asking about Windows Server? My
Yes,
laptop
not your laptop. I'm asking about server operating system.
19.
Windows Server 2019, right? That's what I was shocked. Okay, that's fine. I thought you maybe attached anything.
No, no.
Windows Server version 10.0. Okay. Okay, just minimize all these things. Just show me the home screen once. No, your server only. Your server only. Just minimize. Okay. Okay, fine. So open NC, open run. Just type run. ncpa.cpl. Just type ncpa.cpl. Right click.
I have ignored that.
Is showing disable user connections diagnose. Okay. So just try to diagnose this. Diagnose. Click on diagnose.
I have checked everything, sir.
Mhm.
Not getting any solution here also.
Why it is showing like this? Generally, one option will be there, media connected or disconnected. One option will be there generally.
Then
Yes, sir.
after Pro, then I
Salman, your voice is breaking. Sorry, Salman.
He is saying, sir, he has installed 11 Pro, then he is waiting to connect from RDP.
So 11 Pro, after installing 11 Pro, you're able to connect through RDP.
yeah, earlier it is 11 normal
Home,
version.
11 home. That's what I told you, right? Either 10 Pro or 11 Pro. Okay, you can use the RDP feature. Pro, you can use Pro, and Enterprise, you can use the RDP feature. So check that one, check the first option, check to see if the problem is fixed or not. Click on that one. Have you tried creating one more VM?
Yes, sir. I have today I have
No.
created 3 VM and every VM I
For
am
every
getting the
VM
same
like
issue.
this only you are getting. Okay. Let me take control of your system. Let me see whether I can help you on this way, because generally, okay, so you can see a media disconnected option in the Oracle VirtualBox settings. Advanced. Cable is connected, right? So let me uncheck this one. Don't allow, I guess. And let me try doing this. And
I am running also, sir, Linux server. That is also working fine.
okay. Okay. Let me try this network. Advanced. Now it was showing widget adapter, right?
Yes, sir.
Computer system. Right click on the Ethernet adapter. It is taking too long time to me. So just Ethernet adapter, right click on it. Just refresh that window once. Refresh that window. In the window itself, window, not outside. In the window itself, just refresh it once. Or the white color space is there, right? Yeah, there, just refresh it once. Okay, so what you can do, just disable and enable the network, this one. First click on the disable option. And again enable it. It shouldn't be like this. Okay. Is not using Pro. Pro, that is not an issue, Praveen. At least it has to show the IP address and all, right? It is not showing you an IP address also.
Sir, I was using 2022, 2012, everything was working fine.
But 2019 is having this issue, right?
Yeah.
Let's do one thing, okay?
I have deleted everything on.
Stop this VM. Yeah, stop this VM once. Stop. Close it directly. Close it directly. VM, direct VM.
Can I restart, sir?
No. Just stop it. Power shutdown you can
From
do.
here?
Yeah, here only. There you can close directly, no issues. Power off. Okay, click OK. So go to network settings of this machine. Add one more adapter. Click on network. Click on the second option. Try adding bridge adapter. And expand and check the names once. Check that particular yellow wall and check the name on top, not that one, on top. There is a name, right? Bridge adapter. Below to the bridge adapter, you can see MediaTek Wi-Fi.
Yes, sir.
No, not that one. In the middle, you are missing that option. MediaTek MP. Yeah, that one. Click on that one. Let
Can
it
I
be.
change this one?
No, let it be. If not, we'll change the adapter name. Okay, go to the first adapter. Go to the first adapter. So it was enabled, right? Okay, click OK now. Click OK and just start the VM.
Yeah, right. It is interesting. Same even.
What it is saying? And the internal
Yes.
network host interface networking media MP Wi-Fi VC adapter not found. Okay, do one thing. Click OK. Change it to another name in that same. Okay, change it to another name. Maybe there is an issue.
Adapter 1 or adapter 2, sir?
Yeah, anything you can change. Adapter 1 also you can change or adapter 2. Yeah, adapter 2 leave it as it is. Okay, click OK. Just click OK. Want to change. Now you just try starting the server. I guess because might be I'm expecting any issues from your 802.11 okay network that might create the issues. Okay. Again for the same, just click on details. Click on details. Let's see whether it is available. Internal host network interface. Okay. Express tab adapter is also not found. Click OK. And go to the settings again. Change it to the third name.
Which name, sir?
Third name. Express tab is there, right? Just click on that. Change it to third. Realtek.
Sir, actually before that, now it counts here 5 names, not 3.
So there it is different. If you go to advanced, you can see 5 names.
Okay.
Okay, in the advanced section, you
Why?
can see 5
So
names.
that time I was using that one.
Okay, just click on this one. Let's see whether it is going to work or not. Then we'll try to change the names. Now also again, there is an issue from the network side, I guess. Okay. So do one thing, quickly create the VM first. I guess it will take time.
Can
right?
I delete this one, sir?
No, you can change the network, right? You can use that one. Again, it will take time. Okay, you have to install operating system on that. It will take time. So what you can do, 64-bit is there. Okay. It is not going to load. Do one thing. Okay, so I'm guessing there is an issue from the Oracle VirtualBox side.
Okay.
Okay, so it is not detecting the networks, that your local networks and all. So do one thing, what you can do, just create one more VM and install, okay, Windows 2019. Still, if you are facing the issue, uninstall this, install a different version. Windows
Sir,
11.
actually today I have done everything from my side.
No, which
1922.
No, I'm not
And
asking.
Oracle VM
No,
also.
No, Amrendra, I'm saying
Yes,
install different version of Oracle VirtualBox.
sir, I have installed like 7.0.10, 6.144. Everything.
6.1 also.
Yes, sir.
This is related to this. Yes, okay. So I never got these kind of errors, but okay. So what you can do, just practice Windows 2022. Okay, I gave you the Windows 2022. Right?
Yeah, or can I use through VMware?
If you use VMware, I don't know every setting. Okay, if you are able to do some homework to get the settings and all, you can do that.
Yeah, sir, I know about that
Then
behavior.
then you can do that. I don't have any issues.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that.
Because it is connecting. It does not have any issue.
Yes, it shouldn't be, but not sure what is the problem and all. But maybe anything will be there, guys. VMware or Oracle Box, is it going to create any conflicts with the networks? Any idea, guys, on this? Anyone? Any OS or Windows admins in this batch? Generally, 1 or 2 Windows admins will be there in our batch regularly. Okay, so just try using that one. Okay, so you are saying like when you're using Windows 2022, it is not blocking, right? You can use Windows 2022, right?
I was using 15th August. That was fine. But I have deleted on 15th August. After that, all 2009. Then from that time, I was facing that issue.
Maybe this is
And I am not able to solve that problem. So today I have told him so.
Okay, no, I got you. So yeah, you can do that only if you are comfortable. You can use VMware, okay. But again, so these kind of issue I never faced. Normal issues and all, any related to the OS level or related to the particular, okay. Network level also will be there. But when I change the network names and all, it is easy to fix. So click on advanced ones. Just click on advanced. Advanced. There only you can see. There only you can see advanced. Yeah. So try changing these names. You can see adapter type is there, right? Try changing these names. You can see 5 names. Try using all the 5 names. If it is still not working, then there is an issue. Okay. Yeah, yes.
Let him touch your money.
Which one you be saying, sir? Like where advanced?
Yes. Advanced. Change it to some other names and all. If it's not going to work, means there is an issue, guys. Okay, maybe. I guess third is already selected.
So can I use that one, Oracle behind?
Yeah, you can use no issues. Okay. If you are comfortable with Oracle behind, no issues. You can use. Okay.
Okay, sir. Then and after that,
I'll
if
also
I have
check
any
that
solution.
one. Yeah, I'll also check that one. Okay, in case if I know any
Okay,
solution,
sir.
I'll tell you. Guys, any other questions, any other doubts, guys? Anyone facing any other challenges in setting up the environment?
Botisco.
Guys, anyone is facing issues, guys, in setting up the environment? Okay. So if no, then